Hello everyone, it's your boy Yala. I hope we're doing pretty good. Today, I will be sharing my thoughts on my most recent read, Gideon the Ninth. Oh my god, I know. I'm severely late to the party, but let's be honest. It was 2019. I don't think 10-year-old me would have had many thoughts on this book. That's why I'm doing it now. Okay, no more waiting. I read this very recently, and I'm ready to talk about it because my friends are all annoying me. I need to get it out of my chest. So here's a video. I will be keeping it spoiler free, so if that's something you're worried about, you're still with me. So let's get to it. I'm gonna start with the very basics. I do have a script, so if I look down, totally normal. I wrote it myself. I don't like AI. Makes me angry. Gets me. So, Gideon the Ninth is a novel written by Tamsin Muir back in 2019. It is part of the Locked Tomb series. There are 3 books currently, a 4th one on the way. We have no clue where it is, how far the production. There's no official release date from what I've heard. Very mysterious, but let's just talk about the first one. The story takes place in a fictional solar system where 9 planets, but in the story you'll see it's often dubbed as the 9 houses, so just keep that in mind that they are actual planets. They're very separated. Again, they're houses. They orbit around what's called Dominicus. It's their star. Like for us, we have a sun, and they have Dominicus. 8 of the houses worship King Undying, who's the founder of the first house. He's also known to be the most powerful necromancer to have lived, or something like that. Each of the houses hold a certain role and strength, all that to serve the king. His utmost followers are known as lictors, which are ascended necromancers that achieved immortality in the process. Despite their unknown whereabouts, the first house and its king's influence remain very prominent within the 8 houses, as mentioned. Enough of world building, let's get to the actual story. We spend the entirety of the book with Gideon, who resides in the 9th house, the most obscure one of them all. The 9th house's role is to be the protector of the locked tomb, which is, as you guessed it, a tomb. It's locked. It has to be protected. No one knows what's in there, so they have to protect it. That's the point. Very mysterious, very like that. Exactly that. So there's Gideon. She resides in the 9th house that she tries and fails to escape from. You see, each house has an heir to the throne. They all are necromancers. That's just how it works. The first house wishes to summon each of the houses necromancers, so 8 necromancers, and also that they bring their cavalier, because a necromancer without his cavalier is nothing. They're like this holy duo. Okay, they must always be together. So Gideon is invited. Let's be real, she's coerced into adopting the role of cavalier to the 9th heir, which is Hierarch, who's Gideon's literal childhood nemesis. Yeah, that makes it great. That's great. That's amazing. I can't yell. Okay, to be quiet. But I'm not ready to make a nice remark. Okay, this is not this type of channel. Thing is, Gideon wants freedom. Harrow wants to achieve lictorhood. If they team up together in this, they could both reach their goals. This is why they agreed to it. So, okay, makes sense. Let's go more into specifics, more into the plot of the book. I really enjoyed this book. I think it was due to the grimness of it. I've never read anything this grim in my life. I don't think so. It's not my style, but I think that's changed. I've changed as a person after reading this book. Again, it's not something you see very often. there's a very clear lack of highs in this book. There's grim, and then there's grimmer. It's just that. In a way, this book purposely kills the possibility of hope. There's no hope. This book is so ruthless, you're in danger. Like, it doesn't matter. No mercy. No one is safe in this book. And I think that's what makes it really, really intriguing. It keeps you on your toes. I can appreciate that the book stays very consistent with its darker themes. Happy moments, I mean, yeah, there's scenes that are not like just sad. There's scenes that are not just tough to handle. But I wouldn't consider this book to have any like actual happy scenes. Yes, there are moments where you're like, oh, but I could count all those parts in one hand. So that's just a disclaimer. Like I said, it's very dark, but I mean, we should expected it. I mean, like half the cast are like necromancers, and Harrow, our second protagonist, she's very relevant in the story, is a literal bone magician. Bone. And if you couldn't tell by the title, there are a lot of bones and skeletons in the story. Like an inappropriate amount. You can't escape it. It's a curse. Bones, bones, bones. Bones. I'm scared of them now. Let's get more into the writing style. So, from the very start, you'll take notice of the narrations. Very strong voice. I personally love strong voices in fiction. Like, when it's very neutral, it's like, yeah, it's fine, as long as the plot is interesting. But here, the plot is interesting, and the narration is really, really good. It matches Gideon's personality, as she is the main character, but don't worry, it is in the third person. That's what you're wondering. Gideon, I haven't talked about her a lot, but I'll be getting into her more later. I admit that I got attached to its style very quickly. The humor being the only thing keeping my sanity at bay throughout the whole thing. Really? Because this is intense. This is really intense, guys. If you found my summary annoyingly wordy, and not just wordy, you'll definitely have a hard time reading the story. Let's be more specific. Due to the sheer complexity of the plot and story and world building and everything, you absolutely cannot skim over this book. If that's something you do, I don't do that, but some people do. So there's a lot of filler description. You see, nearly everything the characters interact with, it will be described down to the freaking molecule composition. And by the end, only half of what has been described becomes relevant. So, isn't that nice? It might reappear, but it will hardly serve a purpose, you know? Another type of filler you can see, for example, the author has used multiple pages to describe a character's pain that lasts maybe like a minute, translated to 4 pages. There is something going on that's happening outside of your character's like view. I don't hate this. Intense pain can give the impression that time is moving much more slowly. For the reader to understand this, you make the scene longer. By annoying them with the length, you unintentionally make them relate to the character, you know? Point is, it's a lot. So if you're someone that requires very, very specific imagery, this might be good news. For others, this is a warning. If having to regularly reread a whole paragraph like 5 times genuinely sends shivers down your spine, I have some news for you. It's pretty darn difficult to read, If you're used to epic fantasies or very complicated world building, you know that, at least in the start, confusion is entirely normal. To newer readers or just anyone that's unaware, words of comfort for me. Yes, you will feel stupid trying to understand the book's world. Not just because of the grandeur of the world, because it's really big. The planets. It's a whole other dimension. It's due to how it's written. There is so much thrown at us that we'll never get to understand. If the detective in you is brimming with excitement, he had to be at a Sherlock Holmes level of deduction to piece so many things together with so little clues. Yada yada. It's wordy. The writing was charming enough for me to get away. It might bother some people more. Personally, whatever. It was overwhelming to read, but that's just how it is for someone who hasn't read for a long time. Moving on to characters. There are a low ton of characters in Gideon the Ninth. I will not curse. And yes, they're all important. But no worries. At the start of the book, there is a name guide and a house guide. So all the characters and which houses they're involved with. So, wow, isn't it great? Amazing. I know. Use this. You will use it. You have no choice. You will not remember the names or the houses, the thing. No, you will not use it. There's no way around it, buddy. No, trust me. Stick a post-it in this section because you'll be flipping back to it a lot. Trust me. Back to characters. I have to admit that there were way too many characters introduced to us all at once. It makes sense with the events unfolding, but it is extremely overwhelming since they never truly stick with the same name. Sometimes only their house number is mentioned, like, oh, the 5th, who? Other times their last names or first names. It's never just one. See? This is why you need the guide. The good thing is the entire cast becomes extremely recognizable very soon. Everyone is unique and remarkable in their own way. The dynamics they have with each other are the most precious things you will see. I say that, well, completely aware of the themes of the book. And yes, you will get attached. The characters are just that good. I guess I should be talking about Gideon now, right? I haven't written anything for this yet, but Gideon is our main character. She's very witty, very bold, very intense, very funny, very fierce. She has a lot of attitude. You get attached. Some people are very annoyed with her. She's annoying, but we like her. She's very honest. We understand why she does the things she does. At first you're like, what? But it makes sense. It really does. I get her. We're very different people, but I like Gideon. I really, really like Gideon. Gideon. Stop. So having someone like her is really, really great because the narration style is very influenced by her own personality. So in the end, you get very, very funny, I guess, insults. The humor appears in through very, very well. It's mixed in the perfect amount without making it annoying or like, hey, it's not the moment. Now for Harrow. I can't say much about her because again, I don't want to spoil, but again, Harrow is a very, very relevant character of the story. You'll be seeing her a lot. So she's like Gideon and then there's Harrow and I'm like, great. So all I can tell you is she's more of a dark and stony character compared to Gideon. They're very closed, and the other is I think we could get the dynamics because again, when we first meet Harrow, she's very much a closed book. Later, she does open up, but that goes further. So I don't want to spoil you, so I can at least tell you that she's a very, very interesting character. She's very harsh, very mean. She has her reasons. And she's really great. She's a good character. I love her. Gideon and Harrow, they mean everything for me. About the magic section. We can do this. We can do this. In this world, you can only be born a necromancer. Genetics don't really play a huge role. Yes, it can be there, but in general, it's by chance. You either have it or you don't. Necromancers will become the heir to the house. I already briefly explained that. Their whole life is spent perfecting their abilities. Each house has their own specialty. You probably guessed that Ninth house has something to do with bones. Yeah, it's bone magic, but our dear Harrow does get points for how creative she gets with those bones. Like, oh my god, it's amazing. I'll be telling you the essential energy, death energy, thalergy, life energy. It's produced by all living creatures. For anything else, it will be explained within the book. So and I don't want to spoil anymore, so that's all I'm giving you. There are magic guides in this book. Here, it's at the very end. This is how it looks like. Glossary. The glossary you want to look for. The energy, thalergy, Nine houses, Dominicus, bone magic, flesh magic, spirit magic, the locked tomb, lictor, and stuff like that. Do not go any further than that. If you go to like the name guide and explanations, don't go there. Okay, you do not need it, as there are like tiny bit of spoilers in the notes. But again, be careful because you're going at the end of the book for like the guide, so skip over that, please. I would feel guilty leaving you without any content warning, so here we are. In this necromancer book, we'll encounter death, what? Corpses, and general violence. If you're worried about that last part, I'll reassure you that it's not that bad. The gore and impact injuries are never described in excruciating detail. There's mention of pus and its smell very briefly, but again, no specific physical description appears. Something I realized is that the author will often go for psychological description the worse the violence is. There are exceptions to that rule. I'm a fan of fights, but not gore. So I've somehow grown to expect the general impacts of it. I can assure you that I did not gag once, nor close my book out of shock, but that's simply my reaction. Everyone will take it differently, so keep that in mind. I personally loved Gideon the Ninth. It was funny, bony, and oh, so ominous. I recognized its shortcomings, and yes, some stuff just genuinely didn't click with me. All in all, it's a book I enjoyed, but if you, let's say, absolutely loathed it, I totally understand why and where you're pulling your points from. Some aspects of the story impacted us in different ways, and that's okay. Anywho, for those who haven't read it, know what you're getting into. If this video gets some type of reception, I'd be thankful if you left your own thoughts in the comments. Seriously, I need to talk about this book with more people. Or if you have worries or questions I haven't answered here, please let me know. If you like this type of video and want me to give the same treatment to another book, leave a request in the comments. I mainly read fantasy, so at least try to recommend something in that area. Like and subscribe. I have plans for future videos very soon, so don't miss them. Subscribe. Subscribe.